Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. First thing first, let me introduce myself. My name is Bimo.
My name is Audrey.
My name is Rafi.
My name is Sheila.
And my name is Rasyad.
And today we will talk about something special and quite mysterious. We will talking about the famous Simpsons conspiracies about predicting the future. And the first session of this podcast will be each of us telling each story, starting from Audrey.
Okay, thank you, Bimo. So, let's talk about The Simpsons. Do you know The Simpsons is The Simpsons, that crazy yellow family we all know?
Yes, we do.
So, in this episode called Bart to the Future, that aired way back in the year 2000. So, in this episode, Bart gets a sneak peek at the future and he can see his super smart sister Lisa as the President of the United States. But in this episode, President Lisa isn't exactly having a chill time in the White House. She's trying to fix this massive budget disaster that caused by the previous president. Can you guess? Can you guys guess who the previous president is?
Who is it, Audrey?
Woohoo.
Okay, so this is so interesting. The previous president is a guy named Donald Trump. Do you guys know Donald Trump?
Whoa, really?
No.
He's Donald Trump?
Yeah.
So this is crazy. So fast forward to 2018, I think, and suddenly Donald Trump actually becomes the president of the United States. And this is weird, like how this cartoon that aired in 2000 can predict Donald Trump as a president. Like, this is like strange, super strange. How did they predict this?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy for the Simpsons to predict that kind of future, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely so accurate.
Yeah, it was so accurately. All right, so here's a pretty wild one. The Simpsons might have actually predicted smartwatches way back in the 90s. There's this episode from 1995 called Lisa's Wedding. It is set in the future, and Lisa's fiance is casually talking into his watch, like it's a phone. And remember, this was way before Apple Watches or anything like that even existed. Back then, it looked like total science fiction. Fast forward almost 20 years and boom, smartwatches are a real thing. Not only can you talk through them, but they track your steps, your heart rate, even show text and emails. And it's not like The Simpsons just made a vague tag reference. They literally showed a person making a call through a wristwatch. Like, that's super specific. Now, some people think it's just a coincidence that writers are known for being clever and ahead of their time, but others, they're convinced that creators somehow know what's coming. Like, they've got insider info or even access to the future tech. It sounds kind of crazy, but when a cartoon keeps getting things right this often, you start wondering if there's more to it than just a good writing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rafi, what do you got?
Well, on my end, in the field of science, the Simpsons have predicted a couple things, like the fact that in 2010, in the first episode of season 22, titled Elementary School Musical, where Martin, Lisa, Milhouse, and Database do this activity where they predict Nobel Peace Prize winners in a betting pool, Martin holds up a card in which, in the frame, Martin holds up a card of the betting list, and on those names, in the sort of column of economics, there's one Bengt Holstrom, and also in the column of chemistry, a BL Faringa, which I think here is referring to organic chemist Bernard Lucas Faringa or Ben Faringa, which this later came true. This later came true in the 2016 Nobel Prize, where on economics, Bengt Holstrom won the Nobel Peace Prize, and also Ben Faringa winning chemistry. So that's one of the predictions in the science field, but I think the most sort of the craziest one and the most interesting one is of the Higgs boson particle. So what the Higgs boson particle is, it's a particle in an energy field known as a Higgs field that gives mass to other fundamental particles. So it gives an explanation to how things like stars, planets, and everything else have mass. Well, in episode to season 10, there's an episode where Homer gets into some sort of life crisis and he quits his job at the Springfield nuclear power plant. He becomes an inventor, and after getting inspired by Thomas Edison, he tries to come up with a bunch of crazy inventions like an electric hammer and a makeup gun, and he's sort of drawn all these up in like crazy equations on a blackboard, and on the blackboard there's actually an equation that, if solved, can actually work out closely to the mass of the actual Higgs boson particle 14 years before its discovery by CERN scientists who did the experiment in a hadron collider. So that's pretty impressive, I think. On to the next
Yeah,
one.
that's crazy and
Yeah, that's cool.
genius
That's actually
prediction.
really cool.
Right, now
Yeah.
that's insightful. Mine might not be as viral as the other ones, but I chose the episode The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, in which the Simpsons family are forced to travel to New York City after Homer discovers that his car, which Barney, the alcoholic guy, drunkenly drove off Homer's cars to New York City, which then apparently has been abandoned and ticketed in World Trade Center, where the Twin Tower is located, or was located, I guess. And then hours later, Homer is still stuck waiting by the car, waiting for the officer to release his car. But he apparently missed the officer who came to remove his car boot, while Homer was in one of the twin towers looking for a restroom. The car boot, a large metal wheel clamp to weigh down a car's wheel. So he
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
So
ones.
Homer then just got so frustrated because he couldn't find another officer. And so he just drives away and goes back to Springfield, their home, with the boot still attached to his wheel, destroying the car and whatever. And then, years later, after the episodes was, became viral again, it became the center of a conspiracy theory related to none other than the 9/11 attacks. Because in one of the scene, Lisa holds up like a newspaper thingy advertising with the writings New York for $9 with the Twin Towers in the background. So like visually imagine this. So it makes like an image of the $9 on the left side of the page and the Twin Towers on the right. So unintentionally, I guess, they resembles a 9/11 visual, leading to some to believe that this show had predicted the tragic event of the Twin Tower. So this episode was aired in 1997, so 4 years before the attack in 2001. And the show's creators have confirmed that it was purely a coincidence, I guess, or is it? And despite the theory, most viewers still see it as an eerie accident and one of the many instances where The Simpsons, again, appear to unintentionally foreshadow real events. I think that's just crazy.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, it
actually
is.
kind of
It
I
is
think
creepy.
that's the
crazy.
most eerie one so far, I think.
Right.
How to
Yeah.
predict that
Yeah, okay. So here's one that really had the internet buzzing, especially during the early days of pandemic. In season 4, episode 21, titled March in Chains, which aired way back in 1993, Springfield gets hit by a mysterious illness called the Osaka flu. The fear spreads quickly, and get this, it comes from Japan, delivered in packages that release the illness when open. Sound familiar? In the episode, people are shown coughing uncontrollably, panicking, rushing to find a cure, and at one point, even rioting, and tipping over a truck. It all looks very similar to what we experienced during the early months of COVID-19 in 2020. So naturally, fans on the internet started saying, "Yep, The Simpsons predicted the pandemic too." Like, do you guys believe that? It's crazy, right?
I'm actually
Yeah, that's
I agree.
unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it is kind of scary, because Simpsons always predicted long way before it happened in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like in
that's
1993 as well,
Yeah.
No.
before everything.
Just like what if they already planned it from 1998?
yeah, exactly. I mean, you cannot know this thing like specifically like that specifically that level of specific is just on another level of prediction, another level of prediction of crazy ideas maybe that the writers is trying to tell us about.
Yeah,
But
and the visual, I think the visual is
what do you call it?
I think the visual similar to the reality.
They're pretty specific,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's yeah.
I
That's
mean,
accurately similar to yeah. So actually, what do you think, guys? Does the Simpson writer really know something that we don't, or is it just a coincidence, maybe, or perhaps that the writer just had all those crazy ideas that they add on their episodes?
That many coincidences are just crazy, but
For my case, I think it's not much of a actually it is a coincidence, but also not really. It's half a coincidence because the writer for Simpsons at the time was I think David X. Cohen. He was actually a
Mhm.
mathematician, and
Oh,
what
so
I saw was the Higgs boson sort of equation that was sort of shown in the blackboard on that scene, that episode, was
mhm.
written by him and also an astronomer who sort of playfully combined a bunch of equations, but it's proper equation.
yeah.
So it's like
him being um he discovered this equation way before the the real one is actually
Right.
kind
And
of
14 years.
it's impressive, honestly. More
yeah
than scary, it's
it
really
is
impressive. Like
it's
it's
really
kind of
impressive,
scary, kind of crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think if it's like Donald Trump prediction or smartwatch prediction, I think maybe the writers can see the potential future, but
Yeah, like
I
they can
think
Oh
it's
guess.
yeah,
crazy
yeah, yeah,
about
it's
9/11 or the COVID stuff.
Right.
For me, the
yeah
9/11 one is
yeah the
the most
9/11
Yeah.
eerie one.
is the
Since
most
it's a
Oh,
really
scary one,
scary it's a really scary like coincidence,
yeah, yeah,
What
especially
yeah,
if
for like
they
a
are the terrorists, bro?
yeah,
yeah, who knows? Who
we
knows?
won't know. Who knows?
Right.
No one really knows like the exact who has created the episodes, right? I mean,
Who exactly behind all of
yeah,
this,
who is
right?
exactly behind
Yeah.
all of the episodes that aired in The Simpsons back in the 90s or 2000s, early 2000s.
It's
So,
either the writers are smart, or
mhm,
the
mhm.
writers is who control all of these things.
Maybe they some sort of I think they are connected with the government that actually government always knows everything, so yeah, it's not weird to them knowing the future at that level of specificness.
They say it's either like the government or they're from the future, which I don't know.
oh, they did actually. One of the writers did jump off to write Futurama.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the head writers did write Futurama after that. After Simpsons. Maybe they actually are from.
Yeah, maybe they discovered some time machine too, so they go to the future and then go back to their timeline, like in the 90s or 2000s, and yeah, they write the things that they see in the future.
Right.
So
Who knows, right?
who knows? Nobody exactly knows like what is it.
Right.
Also, it's pretty funny to do it in The Simpsons.
Or maybe all of it happens because they watched The Simpsons and made it look like they predicted it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it could be
Well, it's
Yeah,
them
it
without
could actually be
paradox.
true.
Just
influencing.
goes back into full circle.
Right.
Right. So, The Simpsons has been, aired more than 30 years. Am I right? Am I correct?
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Check it out right now.
maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's from the 90s and it's still producing new episodes till this day. So, yeah, we wouldn't know what episode like aired today might be possible things in the future that yeah we have we will have no idea that
We'll just have to see.
yeah we will just have to see
Exactly.
and wait for the for
Maybe
the
last week's
all of
episode has
this.
already predicted something, but we just don't know yet.
Yeah, we just don't know
Right.
yet.
Maybe
So
it's predicted 10 years later.
yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows? Maybe in
Yeah.
2045,
Or it could predict
Bart Simpson could
tomorrow.
actually be real. Like,
Right.
yeah.
But
Oh
I'm
boy.
curious, like how The Simpsons can influence shaping our perception to the world. Like,
And you know how some people are like scared of the future because they watch The Simpsons and like, oh,
yeah,
this one might be happening tomorrow or today,
yeah.
Hmm. Actually, yeah, that's
Plus the
kind of
viewer
thing.
demographic of The Simpsons. Are annoying people.
That's some topic to think about at night, actually.
Right.
I think
You
it's,
got me overthinking, Audrey.
I think
It's-
I think it's a lot of pattern recognition. Like a lot of people see patterns in things,
Right.
especially with the 9/11 one, because it's just two towers. That is eerie as like a skeptical eerie, like an eerie visual.
Yeah, it was so specific as well.
9/11 visual. It's like the most popular, I think, visual online.
I know.
Yeah, that's one of the most popular, I
And it was like
guess.
4 years before the attack. So like, yeah.
Yeah, ooh, it gives me chills, you know.
think it's fun to watch The Simpsons as a kid, but as a grown
Wow.
Yeah, as a grown up,
as a grown up,
it feels like, I don't know, maybe I hope that something terrible happens in the episode didn't happen
Yeah.
actually in real life. So
I hope The Simpsons stop making terrible accident in their
yeah,
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 exactly
yeah.
like that part. Like
That part is so real. Yeah, that's so real. I've been feeling that too since our topic, started
Right.
back then.
It's like
So
they manifested the future.
they manifested the future. Yeah,
What
that's
happened
for
if the
sure.
Simpsons stop airing? Which the world
But
just
they
end? That's it.
Oh.
Imagine that.
they manifested the worst case possible, I think. Not the best thing.
Yeah, what wouldn't they like best thing? Actually, the smartwatch one, it's
All
it's a
right.
good thing, right?
Right.
And the equation thingy.
Yeah, the equation thing is also, I think, a good thing.
Really,
Maybe
really impressive. Really impressive.
it's
Yeah.
really, really, really impressive, and
I think the
it's
equation one is more of a
unimaginable.
testament to how smart the writer is. The writer is like super duper smart.
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to show off too, right?
Yeah, maybe they're
Who
just
knows?
trying to show off
Yeah.
the math thing.
Right.
Okay, so that is for tonight. That is for today. For the podcast. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast, and we'll see you guys later with some wild, and crazy conspiracies again about other things. So yeah,
This gets
hope you
rated.
guys having a good night, having a good day, and yeah, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks for
Thank you.
listening.
Thank you for listening.